NNRG.
So I think I figured out why this particular game for today, King's Bounty, was not only nominated, but why so many people voted for it this time around. This is technically the precursor to Heroes of Might and Magic, which is a game I have already covered on Ancient DOS Games quite a while ago. So apparently this is what came first, so we'll see how it is by comparison. Although this is also the C64 version, so that may change a few things. Let's see here. Let's get it started. Okay, now this is weird. This is something I encountered when I was trying to test the game earlier. So the intro right now is not running correctly. You can see that there's this weird, it's almost like the gradient is like going past certain lines when it's not supposed to. Yeah, so this is a PAL copy of the game, but the intro is NTSC. I have no idea how that happened. Okay, so if we go past the intro here, it immediately brings us to this screen, and this is another thing which is kind of ridiculous. It says right here, you have to make a backup of this disk because the game actually changes files on the disk, and you wouldn't be able to start playing from scratch once you begin playing. And this is actually referred to in the manual, and I think even the game tells you about this too, is that normally this game would come with a second disk in order to restore the files for the first disk, so that if you want to start over, you can. So, yeah, that's just a very weird way of doing it. But, I mean, there's multiple disk files with this particular copy of the game. It's just the second disk seems to be just the game without being cracked. At least that's what it seemed like. And then the third disk is just saying this is the wrong side of the disk. So, yeah, I have no way. I don't think I have a way to actually back up if this has already been played to some extent. So we'll see. We'll see. So unlimited soldiers, no. Okay. So let's load into it. And now we get a New World Computing Presents. And yeah, I say we'll find out in terms of whether any characters have been saved to the disk or not, but I happen to already know one has been. So I'm not going to be picking that particular slot, and we'll see if we can actually play the game normally. And there we go, King's Bounty, New World Computing. And if I still had it in NTSC mode, as I usually do, this is where the loading would stop and never continue. So that's how I know it's a PAL version of the game. But yeah, the loading times the initial load is pretty long, but it does have those screens that come up at least to help you see that it is actually loading stuff. But once it's loaded up, the actual loading times between things, they're frequent, but they're not that bad. And I should also point out during my testing earlier that I found out the hard way that this game is impossible to play using the symbolic keyboard layout in the Vice emulator. So I had to switch over to positional. I should have been in positional the entire time because positional really does work better than symbolic. It's just I had it on symbolic because I thought maybe it would be easier than positional, but no, it's not. It's really not. But hey, we got some music. And got some credits. Commodore 64 version by the Camelli Group. And this game is played entirely with the keyboard. Okay, so earlier I tried using... What character did I try using? I think I tried using character A. And the game can only... It's weird because if you... I don't think it... I'm not sure. I think... If you select a character and that character already exists, I think that's what prevents you from starting a new game. Like if the character's already been started or something, it's weird. It's weird. Let's just play as which one? Let's do B. Skill level for the paladin. Let's do. I think the skill level just basically affects how many days you get and what score you get at the end. But well, given the fact that there's going to be strategy elements here, I think I'm going to play on easy. Gotta put in a name and see if it'll actually let me play. Okay, so new game is being created. Please wait while I perform godlike actions to make this disc playable. Oh boy. Nah, it's still doing it. It says right here, this disc has a character on it. To use this disc as a new character disc, copy the original King's Bounty disc B onto it. So I don't want to screw this up, and plus this would probably take forever, so I guess we're just gonna load the character file on here. So I did this is how I got past this originally, just to make sure that the game was working. The character file that's on here has like been played for like a second. So this particular download of the game is just permanently in this state, and like who knows if there's a proper copy out there where you can actually select your character and everything. I guess this isn't the only game to do this, and it's not limited to C64 titles. If you recall, I covered Starflight on Ancient DOS games before, and that's another game that modifies the state of the disk because it was pushing the memory limits too hard to be able to just work from a blank slate every time. It had to adjust that slate as it went forward, otherwise there just wasn't enough memory to do it all. Now granted, one could argue the point that if a game couldn't do everything on just the one disc, why not just have the game automatically produce a second disc? And like, I mean, that's not impossible. In fact, I'm sure there's games out there that do something like that. But that means now having to copy all of that data over when the disk itself potentially has a lot more space on it than the RAM of the computer. You're going to be doing multiple disk swaps to get that done. Like, it's not a user-friendly way of doing it, let's put it that way. But anyways, we're into the game here. So we got our character on the main screen. We've got a menu for controls, which just lets us change some basic settings of what we can see and hear and everything. But if we actually go over to the options menu, it's funny, that's technically not a menu. Like I push the down arrow there and I just move down. But if you go into the options by pushing the O key, it actually tells you what all the commands are. And so you just push the key that's indicated to be able to do what you want to do. And this is why I ran into trouble using the symbolic keyboard layout here, because you'll notice that up left and up right are colon and semicolon. And in fact, if you look at your keyboard, I'm not sure how this is going to be for every other region, but for a US region keyboard, what you're going to see is that period slash colon, semicolon, and the quote key are all sort of clustered together as sort of like a quad. And that's kind of how it's laid out here, except for the problem that the Commodore 64 separates colon and semicolon into two separate keys right next to each other. So on the positional keyboard layout in the Vice emulator, this works fine. You just sort of pretend that the semicolon key is the quote key, like the apostrophe quote key on the real keyboard. But if you're using the symbolic keyboard, you would think, oh, so you just have to hold shift when you're pushing colon, semicolon, and it will do either up left or up right. But that doesn't work in this game because it's overriding the default behavior. So if you hold shift and press the semicolon colon key, it'll just do colon every time. So yeah, this is the first time I've ever run into a game in anything where the actual keyboard mapping was a problem in playing it. Okay, tangent aside, let's actually see what we're doing here. So we have the ability to move around, and if we go to our view screen here, we can see this character that was created. Apparently, Tuan the Barbarian is who we're playing as. We got a leadership of 100. Our commission per week is 2,000. We currently have 2852 gold on us. Actually, that seems like an odd number. Maybe this character has been played a little by whoever created it. Our spell power is 0, maximum cells 2, no villains caught, no artifacts found. Apparently, we've killed 38 followers. So yeah, I guess maybe someone has played this to some extent. So press back to exit. Okay, and then we can see our armies with the A key. We got 20 wolves and 100 peasants. And those feel like starting values, but I don't know. And what else can we do here? Going back to options. Oh, right, contract info. So you get contracts over the course of the game. And the idea is you're trying to fulfill these contracts in order to get rewards and to get, power and prestige and all that. So apparently the contract we're on here is for someone called Muri the Miser. Apparently has no alias, a reward of 5,000 gold. Last seen in Contentia, which I believe is just the name of the entire world. That doesn't make sense. Oh no, I'm looking in the manual again. There's a number of locations in Contentia, and there's actually there's 3 other locations: Forestria, Archipelia, and Saharia. It seems like these are going to be like the one we're on is like just a big continent. Then there's a huge forested area and seemingly a bunch of islands, archipelago, and then a desert. Because Saharia literally only has like 3 towns in it. So, anyways, for Muri the Miser, distinguishing features: threadbare clothes, bald patch with hair combed to cover it, incessant cough. His crime is wanted for various petty crimes as well as for treason. He allowed a group of pirates to enter the castle and free criminals. Ooh, yeah, that'll get you on the bad side of the king. You're also noticing there's a bunch of symbols on the side there. I believe these symbols correlate to different progress on a puzzle, I think. If we push the P key, it's going to spend a moment to load a puzzle of sorts. Yeah, when it pulls the puzzle up here, we can see there's a whole bunch of different symbols, which look like people and artifacts. So I'm guessing that the goal of the game is to find out, basically solve this puzzle, figure out where it's supposed to take you, and to do that, every time you clear one of these objectives, either collecting a particular artifact or a particular bounty, it's going to reveal that part of the puzzle, and then once you reveal enough parts of the puzzle to know where it's sending you, then you'd be able to do that and win the game. And I think that's the ultimate goal of the game. I'm not 100% certain, but certain enough. I think it goes without saying too that we're not going to be seeing a whole lot of this game because this is meant to be played over many hours. So we're just going to get a sample of it, like a taste of how this is going to go. So just waiting for it to load back into the main game. As I said, loading is frequent in this game, but thankfully not too long. And then I guess the other thing to show is that if we hit the M key, we can see a map. And apparently the map is specific to the area you're in, like the region you're in. So we're in Contentia right now, it's not Contentia, it's Continentia. Like continent. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain where we are on this map. Oh no, wait, there's actually wow, that is hard to see. It's barely flashing a sort of gray way down in the bottom right of the mapped area. So yeah, apparently that's where we are. And let's actually go to the castle, because castle's right there. Ooh, there's treasure behind the castle. Not quite sure how we're gonna get to that, because I think those walls are literally walls that we can't pass, but maybe we'll find a way around. One thing that's kind of nice too about the loads is that they're broken up into 2 phases. The first phase of the load actually loads the background graphics, and then the second phase of the load loads everything else. So it kind of helps you get the idea that it's progressing. So even though the loads are frequent, they're thankfully not that bad. So you can either recruit soldiers or have an audience with the king. I think audience with the king is how you get the contracts, but we already got a contract, so not going to waste time on that. And then recruit soldiers lets us recruit soldiers. We had like 2,800 gold or something like that, right? Maybe we should recruit some people. The archers are expensive, but might be good to have some. Let's do 3 archers. And then let's also get some militia. Let's get 10 militia. Because they're probably going to fight better than peasants, I would imagine. And yeah, just like with Heroes of Might and Magic, you can basically have up to 5 different I don't know, armies, I guess you would say, in your party. So now we've got our 20 wolves, our 100 peasants, our 3 archers, and our 10 militia. So, well, that's interesting. So it's actually showing the stats for the cumulative total of each group. So based on that, what we can see here is that the archers each have 10 hit points compared to just 1 for each of the peasants. And then only 3 for each of the wolves and 2 for each of the militia. So no wonder the archers are so expensive. They got a lot of hit points. And I think G cost is the upkeep cost in gold per day. So for the apparently we pay the wolves. Like, who knew that they were capable of engaging in financial transactions? But apparently it costs us 80, or no, we're feeding them. So, okay, that makes sense. So 80 gold to feed the wolves, 100 gold for each of the peasants. It's 100 gold for the total of the peasants, 80 gold for the total of the wolves. But those 3 archers each have an upkeep of 25 gold each. Yeah, those better be some pretty good archers. Well, granted, we only got 3 of them, but still. Okay, down here we got the town. I don't think we can do too much in the town. I think the main reason to go into town is if you want to cast magic or rent a boat. Because if you rent a boat, then you can start crossing the water. So the town of Hunterville, which has a skeleton doing that. Not gonna question it. But anyways, so... Oh, no, wait, this is where we get new contracts. So then I wonder what the audience with the king would be. Well, maybe we'll check that out later. Or maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, get new contract, rent boat, gather information. Apparently a bridge spell. I'm not quite sure what that does. Or we can buy siege weapons, which are very expensive, so we're not going to be doing that. Well, let's gather information. Castle Vitar is under Baron Jomo Macal's rule, and apparently guarded by a few dwarves, a few trolls, some archers, many orcs, and many wolves. Okay, so that's good to know, in case we ever have to lay siege to it for whatever reason. Okay, so let's go west. Let's see. Oh, we got treasure, like, right there. Okay. Let's open that chest up and see what we get. You have captured a mischievous imp which has been terrorizing the region. In exchange for its release, you receive 1 turn undead spell. Interesting. Okay. I'm not sure how useful that will be to us, but I guess we'll find out. Oramage? It's hard to tell which... Oh no, that's an N, not an M. Orange is north. Yeah, it's hard to tell the difference between M's and N's with this particular font going on. I wonder if there's a way we can actually just take a quick look to see if there's an easy way to tell the difference. The difference between an M and an N is literally just the middle portion is moved down 1 pixel on the N compared to the M, and also has some extra gray to make for some more fading. That's a little too similar. Okay, so moving on. Oh, your scouts have sighted a few orcs, a few wolves, and a few peasants. Do we want to attack these? I think we could take them on. So, preparing the troops. Let's go into battle with some orcs, wolves, and peasants. So yeah, it's already randomized the battle arena to have sort of a rock in it in that one position down there. But other than that, we're just going into it. So six peasants, 6 wolves, and 6 orcs. And the orcs look like archers, so I may want to try to take them out as quick as possible. Okay, so the wolves get 3 moves. That's what the M3 stands for. So I'm going to have the wolves go... I'm going to have the wolves go like that, and forward like that. And have the peasants move up this way. I'm actually going to have the archers... Well, if I move, can I still shoot? Because the S12 means I have 12 shots with the archers still, for at-range shots. I think I'm just going to shoot from here. So let's aim up at the peasants. And we got one. Okay, that was easy enough. And let's move in the militia as well. So the peasants move, the wolves are going to move. Well, that didn't go so well for the wolves. Oh, that's interesting. The orcs were able to fire over the wolves and hit the archer in the back. Okay, so that's good to know that your units don't impede other units or anything like that. And let's get the peasants in there. We've almost got these orcs taken out. Just one left. Take him out with the militia? No, didn't do it. Oh, did there. Well done. The Tuan the Barbarian, that's apparently our name now. You have successfully vanquished yet another yet another foe. Spoils of war, 288 gold. Okay then. Oh wait, it looks like there might be a way... Oh yeah, right back here. The question is that unit there going to be a problem? No, we'll just go straight for the chest. Let's see what we get. You have captured a mischievous imp which has been terrorizing the region. Okay, so same as last time. And we get a clone spell for that. Not entirely certain what that will do. Can we cast? I don't think we've got magic points, do we? No, our spell power is 0, or maximum spells are 2. So if we want to cast magic, I think that has to be done at like a town or something. Okay, and if we look at the sign here, it says King's Treasure Garden. Oh, well, he might not be happy that I raided it. Oh, what? You're not allowed to... Yeah, that's odd. If I try to move on top of that space, it just pushes me back. Is there a way to interact with the... Not entirely certain. I mean, maybe if we search area with the S key, maybe that'll do it. It will take 10 days to do a search of this area? Okay, so that's clearly not for interacting with things on the map. Oh, we got another sighting here. A few vampires, many gnomes, and a few wolves. Wolves we can deal with. Gnomes, many, might be tricky. Vampires, not confident about that. So, yeah. Oh, they're following. Oh, well, that's not fun. Oh, this is bad. Oh, no, wait. If I move on top of this one, it's now saying that if there's a few elephants... I combined elves and peasants to make elephants. A few elves, some peasants, and a few more peasants. Yeah, that should be an easy battle. Ooh, our militia got taken out. I thought this was going to be an easy battle, but it's not going so well. Because those elves are actually really powerful. Okay, well, don't underestimate the peasants, because they took out that entire group. So, go for the elves. I'm almost out of wolves, but hopefully the peasants can deal with them. This battle's not going great, but could have gone worse, that's for sure. Okay, that was a little tricky, but we did survive. 796 gold. So, I'll take it. I guess we're fighting this group, because I don't know how I'm going to get around them. Well, what happens if I say no? Oh, it's just going to put me back in the hill. Okay, yeah, so I think we're pretty trapped here, unless we fight this group of vampires and win. Bad feeling about this. Well, let's do a test here. Can we move and shoot? So if I move down like that... Okay, we can move and shoot. Oh, the vampires can fly? Oh, that's... not good. Okay, the wolves and the gnomes seem to be ganging up on the archers. A little. Oh, these vampires are tough. I don't think we're surviving this. Oh, we got one of the vampires. It wasn't completely for naught, except it kind of really was. Welp. After being disgraced on the field of battle, King Maximus summons you to his castle. After a lesson in tactics, he reluctantly reissues your commission and sends you on your way. Okay, so apparently we're okay? Maybe? Do we have any armies? We got 20 peasants. That's not going to cut it for much of anything. Actually, now that we're here again, let's do that whole audience with the king thing. Trumpets announce your arrival with regal fanfare. King Maximus rises from his throne, greets you, and proclaims, "My dear Tuan, I can aid you better after you've captured one more villain." Okay, so apparently going to the king gets you aid as you progress through your contracts? I guess that's the way it works. Now, granted, we apparently have a commission per week of 2,000. Like, is that gold that we'll get if we just sort of wait around? And maybe we should test that. We go to options. We can wait end of week. I'm not sure I want to wait entire week. And search area is 10 days. Well, you know what? Screw it. Wait end week. Astrologers proclaim Week of the Elves. All elves dwelling are repopulated. Okay, so week 1. On hand, 686. Our budget, we have to pay 220 to the army. We get 2,000 from whatever. Our balance is now 2466. Okay, so yeah, that's one way to get more money, is just wait it out. Yeah, we're up to 2466 gold. Now, granted, there is a time limit on the game, and because this one's clearly on easy mode, because of the 900 days, like, that means if you keep waiting and keep collecting that money, well, you're gonna start running low on time. But I imagine that might be a way to actually make decent progress, is to get a load of cash going early from waiting around, and then buying big stacks of units to be able to handle everything. But then at the same time, you can only have 5 groups in your party at a time, right? Oh no, wait, 30 wasn't the amount I could afford. 30 was how much could be put into that one group. Because apparently it automatically stacked the new militia with the old militia. Okay, so we got 4 archers, 4 pikemen, 40 militia, and 20 peasants. Still not 100% confident that this is gonna go well, but I mean, we can try. Okay, we got a guy there. Easy enough to get around. That's weird. If you try to go onto those tiles directly, you just get pushed off of them, but yet those are enemy units. So I don't get it. Anyways, a sign reads Peasant Way. Okay, so I wonder what these are for. Like, it almost looks like some sort of caravan of some sort. Oh, that's that wagon's seen better days. It says here 150 peasants are available, costs 10 each. You may recruit up to 80. Given the fact I'm pretty low on gold, well, our peasant group only has 20 in it. So I guess maybe another 20 just to round things out. Yeah. Oh, apparently this hill has skeletons you can recruit. Interesting. I'm not going to recruit any because I don't have the gold for it, but... Huh. After surveying the area, you discovered that it is rich in mineral deposits. The king rewards you for your find by increasing your weekly income by 21. Oh, well, now that's interesting. So now our commission per week is 2021. So that would almost be a strike against just waiting around, because if you just wait around, your commission per week is never going to go up. There's some interesting dynamics to this game, that is for sure. Okay, well, I've been playing this for a while, so let's just do one more battle here. A few skeletons, a few wolves, and a few more skeletons. I think we can handle that just fine, now that we've got a much bigger entourage than before. It doesn't have the wolves anymore. Those wolves, they can move 3 spaces in one turn. So that's pretty advantageous to just battlefield control. But we got pikemen this time. Maybe the pikemen will actually be, like, really decent. Well, we'll find out. But it just occurred to me, the skeletons we just found were 40 apiece. And if we compare that to the militia that we spent 50 apiece on, we can probably just sort of assume that skeletons are going to be on par with militia in terms of how deadly they are. So that's something we probably want to keep in mind here. Okay, so a group of 8 skeletons, a group of 7 wolves, and a group of 5 skeletons. How do I want to handle this? Let's move the peasants over here. Give the archers immediately fire at the group of 5 skeletons. I think for the militia, I'm going to have them move up like that. And the pikemen also get 2 moves. Let's move them forward. Let's see what the enemy does. Okay, so skeletons only get 2 moves per turn. the militia just decimated those wolves. I think our chances are good here. So let's shoot at the group of skeletons. We'll have the militia go after the big group of skeletons. We got all 8 of them. And the pikemen almost got the skeletons. You got one last hit in, but nope. That battle actually went pretty well. So 320 gold for that. So yeah, this game plays surprisingly well for given the layers of complexity that we've got going on here in terms of just making this work on the Commodore 64 in the first place. Like, I assume there's going to be a DOS version of this. In fact, if I remember from when I was looking up the details online, there's like ports of this to multiple consoles. And, well, not consoles, but multiple computers. So, yeah, this might show up on ancient DOS games someday. Maybe not. If it doesn't, we've seen it here. And it plays a lot like a more stripped down version of Heroes of Might and Magic. Like, really stripped down. But at the same time, this is more of a narrative sort of thing. Like, this is single player. This isn't like Heroes of Might and Magic, which was a multiplayer focus. This is more of a single player focus. And to that end, I think I would actually probably enjoy this more than Heroes of Might and Magic. But definitely like something I would rather be playing on a more advanced system. But here on the C64, it plays pretty well.